Stop. If you go past this point, you are going to be complained at vigorously, against your will. If you continue this video, you have agreed to the terms, and you will hear me out. This is the worst state the One Piece trading card game has ever been in. By the way, there's not going to be any sort of planning or structure to this video. It's just going to be a whirlwind of complaints. I have these cards here that I want to complain about for different reasons that you'll see. But yeah, so first of all, let's get into the elephant in the room. This is the most dog shit designed leader I've ever seen in my entire life. You just get double draw just because. You can put it to the top or the bottom, and you can basically just search any one of throughout your deck because you're going to guaranteed find it throughout the course of the game, especially if you're playing things like 3-drop Dofi that people are teching in now instead of the 5-cost Nami and things such as. Like, it's just so dumb and boring to play against. It's very beatable. Don't get me wrong. Nami chews it up immediately. Blackbeard has a decent matchup against it. But the biggest problem is that it is so boring to play against, and that goes for almost every single deck in the format right now. It's just Luffy format plus a few other cringe things that also are not fun to play against. Like Bonnie. I'm a Bonnie player. I love Bonnie. I think green is awesome. 8-cost Kid, Tashigi, Rosinante should have never been a thing. 8-cost Kid Rosinante is already kind of treading on a line. And then if you add Tashigi on top of that, it's actually the stupidest thing ever. Your opponent just has no counterplay depending on what deck they're playing, and you instantly win, no matter what sort of game state you were in before you played Kid. If you drop him with the right amount of cards in hand, like, it's just an instant GG, and that's just so stupid. Same thing with this Katakuri. This 8-drop Katakuri is the most meta-warping card I've ever seen. Not only is purple the most supported card in the last multiple sets, but now you give this to it, along with the Big Mom that they've already been playing, so now they're going to swing 8-9 at you, restand both, leave a Dawn up for Giant every single turn. Like, oh my god, wow, you're so talented. Resting your characters is supposed to mean something so that you can have counterplay into your opponent's things. I don't understand where the logic is with this card. Speaking of which, Gum Gum Giant, I don't think it's super overpowered because in decks that you don't stay around 10 Dawn, it's kind of bad for you to play, basically. Like, you really don't want to be playing it unless you need it. With that being said, it's just boring to play against, and if you're making a chopper that can rest your opponent's Dawn, this is obviously for Giant, right? Like, there's just no other reason. Rest a 1-cost or a Dawn. Like, this is obviously for Gum Gum Giant. If you're making a card to counter Gum Gum Giant, it's probably too strong, right? Like, I think we can just say that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the Brook that we got reprinted in the most recent Black-Purple Luffy starter deck. Number 1, in a Black-Purple Luffy starter deck, there was one black card. I believe it was a vanilla. It wasn't even a vanilla 2K that we get now. It was just a vanilla regular stat line. I think it was this Brook rather than the 3-cost Brook that we could have gotten. And sure, maybe the printing went on a million years ago and it was already set in stone or whatever. Give us the expensive cards that have been missing for ages in tournament packs or something else. There's just no reason to keep them out of reach so long. We're turning into Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I was lucky enough to buy PRB EBO1 when it first came out, so I have playsets of all these cards, but a bunch of people didn't, and all these new players that are trying to get into the game are getting absolutely cooked right now. Cavendish is $33. It is rumored to get reprinted in these, like, learn-to-play sets or something, but if it doesn't, this card is going to be easily $50, and it's a regular super rare. That is garbage. Do better. Make it available. This is not good. Like, this is really stupid. It's really, really stupid. Especially with how bad scalping and everything has gotten recently. Like, do something to try and help combat it. Like, please. I know that's not necessarily their job, but we can just do better, right? With the cartridge distribution, this is just kind of ridiculous, I feel like. Another thing is, they are just blatantly playing favorites now. The super rares in every set aren't even close to the same power anymore. This Garp and this Katakuri are from the same exact set, and one of them is played in every single purple deck, and the other one will never be played in a black deck ever. It is literally just pack filler garbage. It doesn't have any sort of synergy with any kind of Navy leader currently out right now. It doesn't really work with Garp unless you're playing like Jack on the field or one of those janky cards to make your cards gain cost, which are just like never efficient enough right now. There's not really a stage to do it besides the Straw Hat one, and I think you need a Straw Hat leader if I'm not mistaken. Like, this card has no synergy. It is just so bad. Yeah, your black characters with Straw Hat crew gain +1. Like, it's just so terrible. And why did you make this card? Like, it's just not good. It does nothing. It is not good for anything. It will probably not be used until they make a Navy leader that says specifically your characters gain +1 cost or something like that. Like, it's just terrible. I am going to touch on Blackbeard. I think Blackbeard is very uninteresting. With that being said, it is a very skill-based deck against some matchups. So I can kind of excuse it, and it's kind of this like interesting control deck to play against, depending on what you're playing. If you're playing like Green Yellow Law into Blackbeard, then you're like, okay, so I draw my Hodies or I immediately lose the game, and there's no in between. Like, that is just very uninteresting. But I'm gonna give Blackbeard a break for the time being because I think it's ultimately fine for the game at the moment. It doesn't seem to be super game breaking, and it actually requires a brain to play, unlike most of the decks now. The skill ceiling for One Piece has been lowered progressively almost to nothing. Like, genuinely. We started off, like, probably slightly more challenging than Pokemon, right? And now, like, I feel like it's probably the easiest, most brain-dead game to play in all of TCG right now. Depending on what deck you're playing, of course. But, like, stuff like this just rewards bad gameplay. You could be playing poorly the entire game, and then you're just immediately rewarded the second you get this card on the field. You can restand everything, and then just recklessly do whatever you want. Like, I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous how people can even misplay with some of the decks now and still win, because their deck is just so strong. If you try to play anything off meta now, it's just... you can't do it. Like, I don't even make videos on any... I don't make videos in general anymore, as you've noticed. I haven't made one in, like, 7 months or something like that. Because every single time I would try to, like, try all the leaders out in a new set, and it would be like, oh, wow, well, this one just loses to Lucci. Again. This one loses to Lucci. This one loses to Lucci. This one loses to Blackbeard. Oh, so it's just like, this just loses to the most common deck in the format that you're probably going to see at least once a tournament. Why even bother going over it? Like, it's so boring to playtest it on the sim, because it's like, oh wow, I beat a black-yellow Kyros with Robin. Like, great. You know what I mean? How is that really showing anything? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it too hard. It's just, I don't find the game interesting at all right now. It is so boring. It's just complete Luffy format. Almost all of the decks are doing basically the exact same thing. They have so much searchability that they're almost guaranteed to find exactly what they need every single game. They have the consistency to just do whatever they want. Like, it's just so boring. Maybe they won't see their one of, you tell yourself, and then they search it in the first turn with their whatever. Like, it's just so boring. I don't know. More than anything, it's boring. Like, I'm still doing well in tournaments. I'm doing well on the sim. It's very easy to, like, find a deck that can beat the meta, but the meta is fucking boring, man. It's so boring. Oh my god. Like, another example of comparing power, right? This Mihawk and Crocodile and this Garp, they were made basically along the same time, like very similar power level sets. Again, one will always be used in Buggy or any other cross-guild deck. The other one will just never be played because it's irredeemable garbage. And I think the main problem is just like the uninteractive ability with One Piece now. Like, you just cannot do anything, and that's kind of just like a problem with card games in general, I feel like. And I don't think the answer is necessarily hand traps or anything, but like, the card design is just so unbalanced right now. The game is just not fun. Like, this 8-cost Kid and 8-cost Katakuri, basically the same exact card at this point, and they're both just the most miserable card to play against ever. Like, they're just not fun. And then I haven't even touched on this NL card yet. No. Just no. Okay? Not going to even elaborate, but no. So yeah, I don't know. My main issue is, like, we're not getting reprints. The game is turning into Yu-Gi-Oh! With, like, how expensive it's becoming for no reason. The card design is just out of control with almost no sort of thought. Like, obviously, this would be the best deck in the format, right? Like, you made a Sanji. I guess you wanted the Sanji to finally be playable, and you really did it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah, my biggest complaint is that it's boring. I don't think any one thing is too overpowered, except for this card in particular. I think this card should go straight on the ban list. But, yeah, the game is just boring. Like, the game used to be genuinely interesting. You used to be able to have some sort of chance with most of what you played, unless you were playing against, like, Black. Black has always been kind of like a gatekeeper for any sort of fun deck, or any sort of deck that wants to set up something cool. But it's just gotten worse and worse, man. Like, I haven't even complained about Lucci this video. I would actually like to see Ice Age come back, so you can stop this Katakuri fuckery, and then I can just play Nami and beat every single Lucci player for the rest of my life. Like, it's just so... I don't know. The game has just gotten really boring to me. And maybe that's a personal thing, but a lot of people at my locals have kind of expressed the same thought, so I figured I would say something and see if anybody thought the same. So, anyways, that's probably it. Thanks for enduring all of the bitching if you stayed this long. We'll see if anybody agrees with me, or I will just be taking the ambulance by myself.